Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and my name is FAREEZ bin HASSME. So today, I'm going to present about the introduction of impact from COVID-19 into the Malaysian tourism industry. So basically, in 2022, Malaysia is slowly healed from the pandemic, such as we can see under the International Travel Bubble Initiative. Countries with weak economies that rely less on tourism may not feel the effects until much later. The epidemic has had this proportionally negative impact on contact-intensive activities, which are crucial to the travel and tourism industry. These industries will continue to struggle until people believe it is safe to travel in large groups again. So, the next one, I'm going to talk about the impact of COVID-19 into the tourism industry. So, the first impact is huge drop in the hotel industry. According to the Kedah Tourism Manager, several Malaysian tourism businesses have been closed since the COVID-19 epidemic and the adoption of the MCO in March 2020. Many hotels in Malaysia, including the Hotel Istana in Kuala Lumpur, the Hotel Equatorial in Penang, the G Tower Hotel in Kuala Lumpur, the Holiday Inn Resort Hotel in Penang, and the Berjaya Hotel Tioman have closed due of pandemic. It was projected that ADR will have a small growth from the year 2020 onward due to resumption of the domestic travel in 2021 and 2022. In the next 5 years, the competitive market should be able to deliver adequate average daily rate ADR growth rates.
Next is unemployment increase among the tourism worker. The Department of Statistics Malaysia reported that the unemployment rate in Malaysia reaches 4.8% in December 2020, an increase of 1.6% from the same month the previous year. The unemployment rate was the same in November 2020 as it was in November 2019. Tourism is one of the economic sector that has been severely damaged by the coronavirus and is anticipated to take the longer to recover. Under the tourism industry, there are 8 services listed under DOSM. 5 of the 8 services provided show an increase in unemployment among tourism workers compared to the previous year. Among the worst unemployment rate in the service sector are accommodation service and support and recreational service, with total unemployment rate increased by 0.6% and 0.4%. Next, according to the Ministry Tourism, Art and Culture, more female workers in the tourism industry have lost their job internationally than men. As a result, women working in the national tourism industry fell by more than 2% to 48.3% in 2020, down from 50.3% in 2019. In 2023, MIDF research in Malaysia and unemployment rate would decline, averaging 3.5% as the domestic economy improved. It is expected that an increase in tourism-related activity and the growth of primary sector such as commodities will provide additional support.
Impacts of COVID-19 on Malaysia tourism industry is airlines industry decrease in revenue. Tourism is one of the major businesses for growing economies because it can swiftly create cash from tourists, including transport charges, accommodation services prices, hotel staying costs, food costs, and tourism locations costs. However, airline firms across the country have been compelled to suspend operations and ground significant portions of their fleet that were imposed in compliance with the series of Movement Control Orders (MCO) that started in March due to COVID-19. International travel restrictions as well as domestic travel have had a significant negative impact on the Malaysian tourism business due to COVID-19. The tourism industry suffered a considerable loss as a result. The airline industry is in danger of going out of business as a result of restrictions on travel and a general decline in demand. AirAsia, Malindo Air and Malaysia Airlines, the country's top 3 airlines, have reduced staff pay and granted unpaid leave. The 3 local carriers cancelled flights affected 4.316 million passengers and 1.211 million more passengers had their flights delayed in 2020. In addition, 399 million ringgit in refunds totaled 628,000 travellers. Since the MCO started, the airline has scaled back operations, lowered remuneration, and given unpaid leaves to more than 13,000 of its employees.
The first strategy to solve a Malaysia tourism sector during COVID-19 is improvement in hotel industry. The first point is increased budget in travel industry. The Malaysian Association of Hotel firmly feel that the budget RM200 million allotment to support the tourist sector recovery is insufficient because it represents less than 0.5% of the RM47.6 billion in projected tourism received for 2023. The second point is continue the personal tax break for domestic travel through 2023. Malaysian Association of Hotel hope the government will take into account the following suggestion. MAH also feel that more can be done to aid in the hotel industry's recovery. And the last one is to reinstate the salary subsidy program for 2023. To regulate the home sharing sector, including Airbnb, and offer discount for utilities like energy and water in order to create a level playing field for all participants in the sector.
Assalamualaikum, my name is RUQAYYAH and my matric number is 2020619278. I will talk about strategies to solve unemployment in tourism sector. A large number of Malaysian workers lost their jobs as a result of the COVID-19 case prominence. For Malaysia economic to recover from the high unemployment rate caused by COVID-19, both the government and the private sector must take decisive action. Malaysia should decrease the number of foreign workers. Human resource management should prioritize hiring locals over bringing in experts to reduce unemployment. The government and the private sector are committed to setting up 3D jobs with fair pay rates so that they can attract local people. On top of that, government have programs like the wage subsidy program and the hiring incentive, both of which fall under the umbrella of Prihatin and Penjana programs. The program should be serving not only to mitigate major economic crises but also to smooth over normal business cycle variation and make minor shock adjustment. Seed incentive-based program funded by the 2022 budget are already accepting application from the public through the Social Security Organisation, SOCSO. The programs are the SIP Targeted Wage Subsidy, SIP Job Seeking Allowance, SIP Contribution Match, SIP Khidmat, Jamin Kerja Employment Incentive Program, and SIPG. For 3 months, each employee will receive monthly reward totaling RM600 using the program. According to SOCSO, anyone who has received an unpaid absence notice or been fired from their job is eligible for the SIPG. SOCSO registered GIG economy workers can receive RM600 to RM800 in monthly cash aid for 6 months. That's all, thank you.
Last but not least is the strategies to solve on airline companies' decrease in revenue. Although there are several COVID-19 vaccines available, normal living has sadly not yet returned for a very long time. It is also evident that there has been a huge disruption in the travel sector and that there will continue to be impacts for years to come. The pandemic temporarily reduced almost all demand for air travel, which had a domino effect on the whole sector, beginning with the airlines and spreading across the larger commercial aerospace ecosystem. For the sector to be prepared for an eventual but unsure recovery, it must be ready for transformative change. There are several methods that can be taken to survive this season, even though the epidemic has reduced money flow for many in the tourism companies. Pricing is the first thing the airline industry needs to think about. Many airline firms will run deals after the travel ban and limitations are lifted to entire customers to fly once more. People will certainly be eager to travel, but as of COVID-19, every sector of the global economy is in a recession. Both business and the customer are significantly impacted by the recession. When a customer wants to travel, they confront financial obstacles, and at the same time, businesses must overcome hurdles in growing their revenue. Therefore, each airline company must create appealing promotion and pricing in order to ensure that all parties will obtain the benefits to which they are entitled. In a way, both the client and the company profit when the customer spends their money on vacation. To be profitable, the bundle or promotion must be able to draw customers. In order to sustain itself over a longer period of time, businesses should put their clients before their money. Other than that, the aviation sector gains from the government's implementation of the 2020 economic stimulus package in the same ways as other tourism-related companies. Waivers and payment delays are the most common type of aid. For instance, enterprises in the tourism industry were given a temporary deferral of monthly income tax installment payments for 6 months from April to September 2020, as well as a temporary exemption from Human Resource Development Fund taxes. A temporary 15% discount on power bills for the same time period to be given to those working in the travel and tourism sector, including airlines, is also included in the stimulus packages with a total value of 500 million ringgit. Additionally, MAHB receives rebates on parking and landing fees as well as the rental of space at the airport.
In conclusion, the COVID-19 pandemic is responsible for a number of problems and difficulties that have arisen in the tourism industry. This is due to the fact that tourists from all over the world are cancelling reservations and dealing their travel to Malaysia as a result of their concern regarding the virus. Workers in the tourism business, as well as those employed by airline and hotel, are among the most likely to be harmed by the COVID-19. In addition, as a direct result of a Malaysia variation travel restriction and bans, the country is seeing a decline in the number of visitors that arrive. It is believed that the economic stimulus package will assist the tourism sector in surviving through this challenging time.